how well you can fight and get fucking is.
How you doing, people? Robert here, aka Robess Anti-Corruption Scotland. I'm here with Paul from Anti-Corruption Scotland today, and we're going to do a wee video. Firstly, I'd like to thank Unite the Clans for having me as a guest speaker. I think Paul's already thanked them, so I'm thanking you. I've just not had time to do it. Anyway, people, this video we're doing is on Saturday 28th of this month. The Scottish Nonce Party is taking the streets. And the reason I say the Scottish Nonce Party is because Swinney allows migrants, refugees, unlawfully into Scotland, and he's still sneaking them in the city centre in buses every week, coming up from England. I'm not being racist, right? But we the people, you the people, are footing the bill for these people in hotels where we've got veterans lying in the street. The elderly struggling, heat or eat, deprivation and poverty of the sons and daughters of the landmass of Scotland. And what's really annoying is, in Scotland, Swinney is allowing these migrants, refugees, whatever you want to call them, invaders, to abuse your sons and daughters, groom them online. Some of them are only in the country a week and they're online trying to groom sons and daughters, and they're getting caught right, left and centre, right? This isn't acceptable. We've got women walking the streets in Glasgow. It's terrifying, and it came to my attention the other night. It's getting out of control at night time in Glasgow city centre. We can't allow this, people. As you can hear, I've lost my voice for Saturday. Probably this Saturday again when I run into the Scottish Nonce Party, John Swinney, I'll lose it again. People need to stand and wake up. Unite, because we are the refugees. We are the immigrants in our country. We are losing our rights and freedoms. And the people they're bringing into this country are getting everything our people are no. And it's our people, the working people, that's putting into the system. They've put nothing into the system, but yet they're sitting in hotels getting the best of grub. They've even got medical doctors and nurses getting in there to deal with these people. You can't even get a doctor's appointment in Scotland without a fight, a dentist appointment, right? The easiest way to remedy this is if you want to get rid of these people that shouldn't be here, stop the housing, stop giving them houses, stop giving them benefits, stop giving them medical care, stop giving them dental care, right? If you don't get that, leave them in the street where they belong and get the veterans off the street into a home where they belong. Give them homes. People are dying in the street all the time. The homeless, our homeless people are dying as well, out in the cold all winter. That's not acceptable. And the problem is not the system. The problem is the people of Scotland, because they're sitting there letting it happen. Now, myself and Paul and Anti-Corruption Scotland has gone up to Parliament Square Saturday to call this tyrant out. Swinney, he's a complete liar. He was, all the politicians included as well, they were involved in the Midazolam, people dying in care homes, can't see your family, COVID scamdemic. Now they're talking about meningitis, nonsense. Stammer last week was talking about a lockdown. These people don't have the power. The people are the power of the landmass of England, Scotland, Wales and Ireland, right? I say landmass. Scotland's an entity, the same as the United Kingdom. The landmass is where you stand. When you stand on the land, that's a landmass, that's a real Scotland. So what I'm going to say here is, the people that was up at Unite for the Clans on Saturday, I made a point of saying that I was going to go to Parliament to call out Swinney on a weekday. But I'm thinking with Paul, we go to the Parliament and call him out, he won't come out, he'll hide like a wee sheep, and he'll hide in the Parliament, and they'll probably stop us from getting in to find him, right? So the best way to catch him is we always, Nonce Party followers that's going to follow him on the day on Saturday, catch him in the street and confront him there with the mics and call him out for what he is and what he's doing to the people and what he's doing to the landmass of Scotland, what he's allowing to happen to the sons and daughters of Scotland, what he's allowing to happen to our women, the people's women. We can't have this anymore. Women, sons and daughters should be able to, the sons and daughters should be able to go to play on the street, do what they want to do, walk about the street, same as women. This is our lands, people. That's not their lands. John Swinney says he welcomes refugees. I welcome them as well, right? The ones that's got a just cause that has been in war in those countries and at danger. But what they're coming in here, the biggest majority of them, that's not the case. They're coming from France on dinghies. France is encouraging them to come here, right? They shouldn't be getting nothing. When they come over here, they're getting mobile phones, they're getting the best of treatment, where people can't get nothing, right? So enough's enough, right? And I'm not being racist, I'm being straight to the point, and this is how I see it, and this is how I say it, right? This is a message to the people that was up at Unite for the Clans, all the good people that we stood with and proud to stand with. We're putting a call out right now for you to meet us outside the Scottish Parliament main entrance on Saturday, about 11:15, 11 o'clock. Let's gather there, because we're going to call out Swinney, right? I'm going to call out Swinney, because I hate this man with a passion, because I see what he does. He's manipulative, like the Lord Advocate and him conspired before the public got the knowledge about Mundell, or Mandel, whatever his name is, the 430 grand. The Lord Advocate was conspired to hide that as well. He can't be trusted. No politician can be trusted, because they're all criminals at the highest level. They don't work for the people. They don't represent the people. They screw the people, right? Everything that they're saying now is lies. All the manifestos is lies. Let me be clear. A manifesto is a promise, right? Promises are broke all the time. They're deceiving even the followers that follow the SNP. Scotland being independent, Scotland's already independent. The only thing that's holding us together is the Act of Union, right? And they're all tied to the crown. And if you think the SNP, Scottish Nonce Party, is going to get independence, think again, because Westminster calls the shots on that. That has the power to block it. Doesn't matter what they say up here. He's lying to people. How many times have we heard independence referendum? A load of bollocks, right? Anyway, one way I call it to the people. All the people was at Unite the Clans, and for the people that didn't stand with us on Saturday, shame on you. Hold your heads in shame. You are, what I can say, complicit after the fact. When sons and daughters are being abused and women are being raped, you're as much to blame, because you're sitting back letting it happen with guilty knowledge, and guilty knowledge is a crime, people. So let's get the Unite for Clans people to amalgamate with Anti-Corruption Scotland at the weekend up at the entrance of the Parliament. We'll head up to Parliament Square and we'll let rip. Anyway, that's all I've got to say at this point in time, so I'm going to put you on to my colleague Paul from Anti-Corruption Scotland, and let him have his say.
Thank you, Robert. There's not really much more I need to add to that. I would just make the point that the government themselves are basically con artists. They've been promising independence up here now in Scotland for what, 18 years, and they're still dangling that carrot, and numpties are still following along like donkeys through the deserts. The governments are the people traffickers. The governments are the ones who are putting our women and children at graver risk. Now there's an argument about 80+% of rapists and paedophiles are homegrown. Well, the thing is, we have no choice over the fact that they happen to be born here. But we do have a choice about importing men from culturally incompatible countries to add to our homegrown rapists and paedophiles. So you don't solve a problem by adding to a problem with more of the problem. And in fact, these guys are even worse, because they do not know how to live in a complementary way within our own culture. And this is, as Robert said, our lands. Scotland, England, Wales, Ireland, built by our forefathers and foremothers. They built this culture. This is ours, and we're not going to surrender it. So remember, the governments are the people traffickers. They are the ones putting our women and children at risk. Consciously, they are making that decision to do so because they want to destabilise our society, our culture, and they want to replace indigenous men and women with men in particular from countries that are not culturally compatible. And we need to stop this process. I mean, for me, it's nothing to do with politics. I agree with Robert. that the SNP are indeed the Scottish Nonce Party and the Scottish Nonce Enabling Party, and they need to be thrown out of office and thrown in prison ASAP. No mercy. That's the way it should be. Every man in Scotland has to start to stand up to protect our women and children. And if you're not prepared to do that, you cannot call yourself a man. At best, you're a biological male. And what you should do is be shipped off to somewhere like Rockall so you can go live with the puffins and the seals, and then they can put up with your weak crap. But anyway, as Robert said, we're calling out people to come and help us, stand with us, Anti-Corruption Scotland, start to stem this tide. This is root to branch corruption, systemic, within the judiciary, within the police, within the political systems, within the trade unions, within the schools. It's everywhere, like a bloody fungus basically, and we need to expunge it as quickly as possible. So when you have the opportunity, Rob has talked about Saturday and John Swinney, get there with us, stand with us, numbers, raise your voice, be seen. We need to be visible, we need to have an impact. Okay, we're happy to do it. Just two guys trying the best. That's who we are. You can be exactly the same. Commit to it. Commit with energy. Commit with passion. We're happy to educate and guide if necessary. Robert, about the common law. Very, very important that you know your rights and your freedoms, and that you are then have the substance and the spine and the balls to act upon those rights. It's no point in knowing if you're not prepared to do something about it. Okay, well that's it for the moment. I'll put you back to Roberts.
Well, this is the other thing as well, people. We at Anti-Corruption Scotland are now calling for numbers all over the landmass of Scotland. We want to make change. What is Anti-Corruption Scotland? Who is Anti-Corruption Scotland? We are the people's hope, and we are change. Give us the numbers, give us the strength, and we'll show you how to take this system down. I've got a wealth of knowledge, 14 and a half years experience. We've been abused with this system. They stole my sister's son based on lies with social workers. Police Scotland were complicit in it. They knew that there was nothing wrong, and they still went with the social workers, as they do with every family across this landmass of England, Wales, Ireland and Scotland, right? These people don't have the power that they claim. They're hiding behind a persona, a juristic person. The Scottish Parliament is a juristic person, it doesn't exist. It's a corporation. The Scottish Government is a juristic person, it doesn't exist, but I'll get into that in another video because it's a complex matter, and this is how the people of the landmass of Scotland are getting screwed right, left and centre. Anyway, people, please give us the numbers, and I'm the fighter here. Paul's the fighter. I will stand toe to toe. And remember, Police Scotland is as corrupt as the rest of them. They're all complicit, and under their oath, their job description, they're not supposed to get involved in politics, but they do, right? Because they're a private corporation. Anyway, people, I'm going to leave it at that. Now, we're going to be up at the Scottish Parliament for between maybe 20 to 11 and 11 o'clock. So if you're going to come and help support the people of Scotland, you've got a duty and an obligation to protect the sons and daughters and the women of Scotland. If you stand back and don't do nothing, you're as guilty as the rest of us. Anyway, 20 to 11 and 11 o'clock outside the main entrance of the Scottish Parliament, and let's get this party started. Alright, people?
Really?
Take care, be safe. Please share this video far and wide and get this information out there. Anti-Corruption Scotland is the only challenge in Scotland. The Anti-Corruption Scotland and the men in Anti-Corruption Scotland have got the cojones to take on the elite, and I'm taking on the elite. I've done it for 14 and a half years. I went through thick and thin, been shot down and came bouncing back. I will not back down on this, because when you're right, you're right. And I would like to thank Paul for being part of Anti-Corruption Scotland. I'd like to thank Paul for standing with me side by side at Unite the Clans. Right? Take care, people. Be safe, and hopefully speak soon, and hopefully see a big crowd at the Scottish Parliament for the Scottish Nonce Party and John Swinney. Bye bye, people.
Catch you later.